The forecast for Grand Traverse Bay, issued at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This afternoon, east winds 10 knots, mostly cloudy, waves 2 feet or less. Tonight, northeast winds 10 knots, chance of rain. Waves 2 feet or less. Thanksgiving Day, west winds 10 knots and gusty. Patchy fog. Waves 2 feet or less. Thursday night, southwest winds 15 knots, mostly cloudy, waves 2 to 3 feet. The forecast for Manistee to Grand Traverse Light, issued at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This afternoon, east winds 10 knots, areas of dense fog. Waves 2 feet or less. Tonight, northeast winds 10 knots, chance of rain. Waves 2 feet or less. Thanksgiving Day, west winds 10 knots with higher gusts. Mostly cloudy, waves 2 to 3 feet. Thursday night, southwest winds 50 knots and gusty. Mostly cloudy, waves 2 to 4 feet. The forecast for open waters of Lake Michigan, issued at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This afternoon, east winds 10 knots, areas of dense fog. Waves 2 feet or less. Tonight, northeast winds 10 knots, cloudy. Waves 2 feet or less. Thanksgiving Day, west winds 10 knots and gusty. Mostly cloudy, waves 2 to 3 feet. Thursday night, west winds 50 knots and gusty. Mostly cloudy, waves 2 to 4 feet. Please listen to 162.475 MHz for northern Lake Michigan forecasts. Here are the 4 p.m. conditions. In Traverse City, it was cloudy with a temperature of 41 degrees. The relative humidity was 86%. Winds were east at 3 miles per hour. The pressure was 29.83 inches and falling. Some other reports across Michigan. At Pellston, it was partly cloudy with a temperature of 42. It was cloudy with a temperature of 37 at Gaylord, 38 at Alpena, and 40 at Sault Ste. Marie. At Houghton Lake, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 36. The forecast for the Traverse City area. This afternoon, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 40s, east winds 5 miles per hour. Tonight, rain likely. Patchy fog. Lows in the upper 30s, northeast winds 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 70%. Thanksgiving Day, mostly cloudy. Patchy fog in the morning. Highs in the mid-40s, west winds around 10 miles per hour. Gusts up to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the mid-30s, southwest winds around 10 miles per hour, with gusts to 20. Friday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 40s, west winds around 10 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the upper 20s, west winds 5 miles per hour. The short-term forecast for Traverse City. At 5 p.m., cloudy, slight chance of rain. Temperature 39. Northeast winds 5 miles per hour. At 7 p.m., rain likely. Temperature 39. Northeast winds 5 miles per hour. At 9 p.m., patchy fog. Rain likely. Temperature 39. Northeast winds 5 miles per hour. At 11 p.m., patchy fog. Rain likely. Temperature 39. Northeast winds 5 miles per hour. The following is a hazardous weather message for the following in Michigan, Missaukee, and Wexford. Event visibility 1/4 mile or less in dense fog. Where? Wexford, Missaukee, Roscommon, Ogamai, and Gladwin counties. When? Until 9 a.m. Thursday. Impacts: hazardous driving conditions due to low visibility. If driving, slow down, use your headlights, and leave plenty of distance ahead of you. The extended forecast for Traverse City and vicinity. Saturday, mostly clear. Lows in the upper 20s. Highs in the mid-40s. Sunday, mostly clear. Lows in the mid-30s. Highs in the upper 40s. Monday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of snow and rain showers. Colder. Lows in the lower 30s. Highs in the upper 30s. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of snow showers. Lows in the upper 20s. Highs in the upper 30s. Here is the weather synopsis for eastern upper and northern lower Michigan. Another batch of rain moving into the area will be accompanied by generally mild temperatures. This will keep fog going where it does not dissipate today and allow it to redevelop tonight over what is left of the snowpack. Otherwise, once this system departs, rather quiet weather looks to be the norm for Thanksgiving into the rest of the weekend, perhaps with some sunshine at times. Potentially more active weather may be on the horizon for early next week. Here is the hazardous weather outlook for eastern upper and northern lower Michigan. Patchy dense fog will occur in northern lower Michigan today, mainly south of M72. Dense fog may become more widespread tonight across much of northern lower Michigan. The following marine observations occurred in the past hour. At northern Lake Michigan buoy, winds were from the east. The speed was 10 knots with gusts to 12 knots. Water temperature 47. At Manistee, winds were from the northeast 4 knots. Nobbinway reported winds were from the east at 5 knots. At St. James, winds were from the east at 7 knots. At Pellston, winds were from the east at 9 knots. Harbor Springs reported winds were from the east at 6 knots. At Charlevoix, winds were from the northeast at 7 knots. At North Manitou Island, winds were from the east at 4 knots. Graham Traverse Light reported east winds. The speed was 10 knots with gusts to 11 knots. At Traverse City, winds were from the east 3 knots. At Frankfort, winds were from the east 5 knots. Manistee Harbor reported winds were from the east at 3 knots. At Big Sable Point, winds were from the northeast at 4 knots. At Ludington, winds were from the east 5 knots. Ludington Airport reported winds were from the east at 5 knots. Here are the 4 p.m. conditions. In Traverse City, it was cloudy with a temperature of 41 degrees. The relative humidity was 86%. Winds were east at 3 miles per hour. The pressure was 29.83 inches and falling. Some other reports across Michigan. At Pellston, it was partly cloudy with a temperature of 42. It was cloudy with a temperature of 37 at Gaylord, 38 at Alpena, and 40 at Sault Ste. Marie. At Houghton Lake, rain and fog were reported with a temperature of 36. You're listening to NOAA weather station KIH22 in Traverse City, Michigan, broadcasting on a frequency of 162.40 megahertz. Our program originates from the National Weather Service in Gaylord, Michigan. We serve Traverse City and much of northwest lower Michigan 24 hours a day.